Breaking news just into Rock Feed. Some stunning news that we are currently trying to digest at this time. One of the greatest guitarists of all time. Oftentimes you hear this said, but it's actually true this time. Eddie Van Halen has passed away at the age 65 following a courageous battle with throat cancer. We've got reaction coming up to this news that we are all still at present trying to digest. Myself, my entire life, I've been a fan of Van Halen's music. He is, as someone put it on Twitter, I was just reading this a moment ago, truly the Michael Jordan of guitar playing. And today we are saying goodbye to one of the most influential, not just rock musicians, but musicians of all time. Truly a giant in that space. Let's go over to NPR, who has the report. We're going to pull this up on the screen and take a look at this together. As you can see, it says Eddie Van Halen, the guitarist and songwriter who helped give the radio rock band Van Halen its name and sound, died Tuesday after a battle with cancer. He was just 65 years old. This news was announced by his son, Wolf Van Halen. He says, "I can't believe I'm having to write this, but my father, Edward Van Halen, has lost his long and arduous battle with cancer this morning. He was the best father I could ever ask for. Every moment I've shared with him on and off stage was a gift." In a band known for its instability, due in part to the rotating cast of lead singers that most notably includes David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar, Eddie and his brother Alex remain constants, appearing on 12 of the studio albums, I should say. Rather, they go on to eulogize him in this report. But what I want to do now is I want to go to reaction in real time from this situation. And let's go to that. So right now we've got real-time reaction coming in on Twitter from rock musicians like Geezer Butler. He says, "Just when I thought 2020 couldn't get any worse, I hear Eddie Van Halen has passed. So shocking. One of the nicest down-to-earth men I have ever met and toured with, a true gent and true genius." Nickelback coming in with reaction just 19 seconds ago. "The world lost an icon, innovator, showman, virtuoso, master songwriter, and perhaps one of the biggest inspirations ever to learn how to play guitar. Heartbroken to hear of Eddie Van Halen's passing. One love, condolences, and best wishes to his family and friends." Sebastian Bach says, "Eddie Van Halen and Neil Peart were just too good for 2020. We all are. My heart is broken." Billy Idol, "Rest in peace, guitar legend Eddie Van Halen. We will miss you." MTV even paying tribute to Eddie Van Halen during this time. Notably, the network has moved away from rock music. This is obviously pointing to how much of an iconic figure Eddie was. Taylor Momsen says, "This is a very hard one to take for so many of us. His influence and his music will go on forever. Thank you for everything, Eddie Van Halen. Rest in peace." Rich Post, the father of Post Malone and a noted rock fan, says, "Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen, an inspiration to and innovator for guitarists of multiple generations." John Karabi says, "This one sucks big time. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. You took what Hendrix gave us and created an even bigger legacy. You will be sorely missed, and I'm glad to have met you and hung out together. Can 2022 please just go the F away?" Country music superstar Kenny Chesney wrote the following statement: "I am devastated at the news of the passing of my friend Eddie Van Halen. He was a friend and a hero to anyone who has picked up a guitar and had a dream. Eddie and his brother Alex joined us on stage for one of our stadium shows in Los Angeles, and it was one of the highlights of my touring life and all of my summers on the road. I will never forget that night and how happy we both were that our musical paths crossed that night on stage. Rest in peace to the best guitar player that ever lived. We will miss you, Eddie Van Halen. Your music will live forever." Again, this is just not something that people are saying. This is something people truly mean. Eddie Van Halen probably is one of the greatest people to ever pick up a guitar. Doc Coyle of Bad Wolves and God Forbid wrote, "The most important guitarist to rock and metal. To me, it's Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, and Dime. Van Halen changed my life. He made guitar a magical thing for generations. I wouldn't be here without him. I've been playing his Eddie Van Halen gear amps for 20 years. We are all poorer today." Aerosmith coming in saying, "Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. You will be missed. Legend." Fozzy frontman and pro wrestling superstar Chris Jericho wrote, "God bless Eddie Van Halen. Your work with Van Halen and your music has done more to make the world a happier place than you'll ever know. And one more thing, after taking Neil Peart, Kobe Bryant, and now EVH from us 2020, will you kindly just F off already?" Seth Morrison from Skillet wrote, "Man, we lost a rock legend today, one of the most influential guitarists that transcends generations. I remember the first time I heard Eruption when I was 13, and that was it for me. I was a Van Halen fan, praying for the Van Halen family." All right, and with our continuing coverage of this situation, we're joined by Shaun from Breaking Benjamin. He is the drummer of the band. Obviously, Eddie Van Halen meant a lot to him, as he did everyone. Shaun, what is your reaction right now?
Completely devastated, just like the whole entire world is right now. Yeah, it's just like one of those things that you just don't expect it to happen, and I feel like this whole world just lost their hero.
Right. And, a lot of people throw around the term, oh, they're the greatest of all time. But it seems like with Eddie, that's actually true.
It's 100% true. Like I said on my Instagram post a few minutes ago, that guy was a freaking alien. He was doing stuff that nobody did,
right.
And when you are that, inventive and you're doing things that no one's doing, of course you're going to be looked up to. And he had kids all over the world wanting to be him. And, for me as a musician, even as a little kid, any guitar player that showed up at my house, in my basement, played Eddie Van Halen every time. And you could always count on it. They would always be trying to play Eruption. And of course, you never sounded, like Eddie Van Halen, because who can? But that's how inspiring he was to everybody in this music industry and everybody that's ever picked up a guitar. And, I'm not a guitar player, but I was inspired. And it's a sad, sad day for everybody.
Indeed it is. Shaun, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your real-time reaction to this news. Again, we're taking reaction in real time. There are so many musicians who obviously were heavily influenced by Eddie Van Halen. One person joining us at this time is the Ghost Inside drummer, Andrew Tkaczyk, who is a longtime fan of Eddie Van Halen. He's going to give us a little bit of reaction. So Andrew, obviously we're just learning this news now. This is a heartbreaking loss for Eddie Van Halen. What did he mean to you as a musician? Not just a drummer, but you also play the guitar as well.
Yeah, man. I fell in love with guitar before anything. That was my first instrument I played. That was all my heroes were guitar players growing up, and Eddie Van Halen was the original, the very first hero of mine. You can hear me boring people, talking their ears off in every podcast I've ever done when I get asked the question, like, what were your influences growing up? What were your inspirations? Every single one, I tell them. My parents pounded Van Halen and the Beatles into my head from an early age. Van Halen is like Van Halen, especially Eddie, and watching old videos of him and VHS tapes my parents had and just listening to their records over and over and over. I mean, he was my absolute icon, idol, hero. I wanted to be just like him. I wish I could play like him. Everything about him, man. Like, it's this one really hurts for me. Right. And I think it's going to really, really affect a lot of other musicians as well. But man, he was 150% the GOAT, the greatest
absolutely
of all time. He did so much innovation and changing the way rock music was played and how everything he did with guitar distortion and that Frankenstrat and all of his time he spent by himself messing around with effects and hardware and stuff to make guitars sound commercially like they do now. I mean, he's owed all that credit, and he's my hero, man. And it hurts. It's sad to hear.
Right, absolutely. And I would say no doubt about it, it does appear as though he is probably the Michael Jordan of guitar, as we've seen already. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So as you can see, the rock world is mourning the loss of truly one of the greatest guitarists to ever do it. I think it's safe to say that he may be the greatest, at least traditional hard rock guitarist to have ever done it. You take what Hendrix did, he added his own spin on it, and truly created a body of work that is going to live on forever. This is something that is very new. It's very real. People are still processing it. In the days to come, we will continue to pay tribute to Eddie Van Halen, and we will let you know about any tributes or ceremonies in his honor and his memory. Again, we're sending our thoughts and prayers out to the Van Halen family tonight during this very difficult time. Thanks for joining us, and remember to pay homage to the legacy of Eddie Van Halen tonight. Thanks.